The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. My name is Rob McConnell. Toll free worldwide, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Pastor Harry Walther. He studied Bible prophecy, Nostradamus, theology, and ancient civilizations for over 20 years, and the Bible codes since 1998. Pastor Harry has published 2 books, The Answer, 2 Raptors in 1986, and in June 2006, 666, Antichrist Revealed. Joining us now is Pastor Harry. Pastor, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Rob. Thank you for having me. I always enjoy coming on.
Pastor, over the last couple of, let's say the last week, there's certainly been a lot of information coming up pertaining to UFOs. We had the United Nations saying that they're going to have an ambassador whose main and only job will be to greet the extraterrestrials when and if they make contact. And then we had Robert Hastings, former captain or retired captain Robert Salas, and other members of the United States Air Force at the National Press Club this past Monday, saying that our nuclear weapons and our nuclear sites have been visited by extraterrestrials and UFOs. And I was wondering if I could get your feedback on those 2 stories.
Well, I believe that this is a coordinated event. I don't believe these are 2 isolated, events. But I believe it's a process to prepare the human race for when these aliens will come and land here. And I've always believed this. I believe that, the ancient Mayan calendar and this countdown to December 21st, 2012, I believe beyond what else it could be, I really believe it's a countdown to our encounter with quote, extraterrestrials.
So this is going to be our point of contact.
Yes, and I believe we also see the United Nations is now taking control of the entire situation, meaning if when they contact us, when they land, the UN took control of the entire greeting procedure.
The fact that the Vatican even stated that we should welcome extraterrestrials, is this also part of the main plan that is now in play?
Yes, I believe it is. And in fact, a prominent Catholic bishop about 3 weeks ago said if or when the aliens come, he would be glad to baptize them, even if they have tentacles. And we're being prepared from all sides to accept the coming of these aliens or our space brothers, these visitors as our friends. And I believe this is a coordinated event, and we're just seeing the beginning of this process. It's sort of like the alienization of the world. They're going to probably start coming out with more and more information, things like at Roswell and all. But, I firmly believe, that extraterrestrials are real. It's just the question is who and what are they?
Yeah. Is it possible that they're really not aliens at all, that they are our forefathers?
Well, it's possible. I mean, I've studied ancient civilizations. I've studied the writings of Sitchin, and Von Daniken and all these people, and I do believe that some type of aliens or extraterrestrials were here in ancient times. I'm really convinced of that. A lot of these fundamentalists, they always say, God only made life on earth. You hear like Baptists say it, fundamentalists, evangelicals, they're very adamant on that. But the Bible never says that God never only made life on Earth. It says that Earth is the last. Really, it never says Earth was the only planet, and God could have made life on a million Earths. It just seems to be we're like the last, because Earth is we live in an expanding universe, and the Earth is in the Milky Way galaxy. We are near the end of the universe. But I have a very unique theory on who these extraterrestrials could be. But
all right, why don't you tell me this your theory when we come back from this 2-minute commercial break? Exonation, Pastor Harry Walther is our special guest this hour. www.satansrapture.com. That's www.satansrapture.com. Pastor Harry and I return on the other side of this commercial break in 2 minutes as we continue here in the X Zone from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
We all desire health, happiness, and fulfillment, but often get in our own way. Repeated patterns that leave us out of control can keep us feeling powerless, frustrated, and unable to move forward in spite of our best efforts. Unconscious patterning disconnects us from our gifts, often destroying the very thing we seek. But there is an answer. We can take charge of our destiny and heal the trauma of our history. Shamanism is an effective ancient modality that can reconnect us with our true selves, empower the creation of our dreams, and return us to health and balance. Cody Alexander is a certified shamanic practitioner and teacher with 11 years' experience. Email healingpathways33@gmail.com or visit codyalexander.net to schedule a long-distance shamanic session today.
Explanation. Pastor Harry's our guest this hour, www.satansrapture.com. All right, Harry, you were telling me before we went to the break that you had your own theory about the ETs, and would you share it with us?
Sure. You know, a lot of people look at extraterrestrials and we think about it, and suddenly they want to pin all their hopes and dreams upon them, like these advanced beings will come, and of course they have to be good, and they're going to cure cancer and bring world peace. You know, they think that they automatically that they're good, but there's a good possibility that they're not good, that they're extremely evil, that they're more evil than we could ever imagine. And I'm going to tell you my theory now. I mean, when people first hear this, they usually react as no way. It's just like a knee-jerk reaction because it's too horrific. But if you really think about it, you know, it could be true. See, I believe that in ancient times, there was a civilization on Mars, and you know there's been a lot of evidence that there's pyramids on Mars, there's the face on Mars. Yep. There's a lot of controversy, but I do believe there was a civilization on Mars and I believe a cataclysm hit Mars. It could have been a war. It could have been a comet or an asteroid impact. And I believe some of these, quote, Martians who were like humans but bigger, did they fled Mars in their spaceships and they came to Earth because Earth's very close to Mars. But what I think what happened when they came here, something went wrong and they crash landed here. And we're told that eons before that, there was a war in heaven with Satan and his archangels, and they were cast out of heaven to earth as spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's possible. What if these wicked demonic spirits took over this alien crew and this spaceship? Now you would have literally demonic beings, these demons inside of these massive, humanoid bodies from Mars, and that may explain why the quote gods who came from heaven to earth, why they behaved like they did. Because in the ancient civilizations, in Sumer and Egypt, they worshipped the pantheon of these gods. The names always changed, but these gods were really bad.
Yeah, they were.
Because they had human sacrifice. They made people sacrifice their children to these gods, babies to these gods, virgins to these gods. They had fertility rites, so they would have people out in the field having these sexual orgies while they watched in approval. They had sex with select human women. And we even read in Genesis, Rob, there's a mystical verse in Genesis 6:4 where it says the sons of God came here and they saw that the daughters of men were fair. And
Pastor, we're having a hard time hearing you. You're breaking up on that end.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you.
Okay, it's this headset. So even the Bible talks about that mystical verse in Genesis 6:4 about the sons of God coming to earth.
Yeah.
And seeing that these human women were fair and they took wives to themselves and they had children. But the children were like these demonic mutants. They were really nasty, and that's when God flooded the earth and destroyed them all and started over again, with Noah and his family. And I believe, if you just think for a moment, if this demonic wicked angel named the devil, Lucifer, Satan, if he has say 12 large humanoid bodies of say aliens and an alien spaceship, that's all he needs to come here and take over this planet and wreak havoc. So if beings come, yeah, they will come, but are they really space brothers from the Pleiades? Are they good, or are they really demons masquerading in these alien bodies? It's even interesting too. The Bible called them the Nephilim, the fallen ones, or the giants, and if beings did live on Mars, they would be a lot bigger than us because there's not as much gravity. So there's a lot of truth to these ancient, stories and myths and all. But I really do believe that we're going to have a close encounter with aliens around December 21st, 2012, and they will come here. And the question really is, who and what are they, and what do they want to do when they come here?
Throughout the years, people have been spotting UFOs around the world, and is it because in the earlier times they did not know what the UFOs were, so that they made them these gods who descended from the skies? And do you think, Pastor, that these gods or these UFOs that we're seeing these days actually pose a threat to this planet and the occupants of this planet?
Well, yes, I do. I think they pose a grave threat to this planet because I think they have an agenda. And I think they want to use religion to take over this world. That's what I believe. People think of aliens coming here, and we've seen movies like Signs, where they come with violence to take over the world. But I think they're going to use religion to take over the world, and then push their own agendas. And if they're what I think they could be, then they're clearly going to do. Then they're clearly going to do the insanity that we read of in the Bible. They'll trigger a second Holocaust, but it's no, I don't think that they're good at all, and I don't think people should, whatever they are. I don't think we should automatically assume that they're good. But don't you think, Rob, that the ancient world, I think they didn't understand what these beings were. If they came here, they didn't understand technology or anything like that. Like the ancient Mayans worshipped the flying serpent.
Yeah.
But maybe they called him a flying serpent because he comes in some type of a spacecraft, a flying, or a flying dragon. They could have thought it was a dragon because it could breathe fire, or smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely believe that we were visited, and I don't think they've ever left. I think they're coming back, or they already seem to be coming back. It's just when you talk about this subject, so many people and religious people, they get so scared, or they just get so closed-minded. But I think we should really start wondering, not if they're coming, but when, and really what are they?
Is it possible that when these ETs finally do make contact, that the ET or the ETs may be the Antichrist?
Well, it's very possible. I've been saying since 1997 that I believe the highest probability that the Antichrist will come to this planet in a spaceship. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people used to really laugh at that. But now, in light of everything else, that they don't laugh as much. And, I do study the Bible code, and the Bible code actually says, well, he's called the beast, in Revelation. The Antichrist is called the beast. It actually says in the Bible code, it says the beast, UFO arrival, Jerusalem, United Nations. It says it as clear as day, but if some spaceship lands here and the door opens and out comes this 7-foot tall, something beautiful being, what if that is the Antichrist? He would really be able to deceive this planet.
I come in peace. I mean you no harm. I'll bring harmony to your planet.
Exactly. He'll bring harmony, world peace. He'll teach, and then. But of course, he's got to be against something, and he would be against everyone that wouldn't accept, his father, the devil, Satan. That'd be pretty. Because for some reason, if extraterrestrials ever come, I think one of the first questions people will want to ask them is, who is God? Because we assume, they're older than us and they know more, and I think he'd be glad to tell us, who God is.
Is it possible that instead of being misunderstood or misidentified as the Antichrist, is it possible that when contacts take place, that the ET may be misidentified as the second coming of Christ?
Well, I think beyond misidentified, I think when this being comes, the Antichrist, I think he's going to claim to be Christ. I think he's going to claim to be the savior of every religion, faith, and creed. And he'll just put an extraterrestrial spin on everything we've ever thought about religion and God and the Bible. So, yeah, he would say that. I don't think he would be misidentified. I think he would say that, that to the West, he's Christ. And I think he'll say, to the Muslims, he's the return of Imam Mahdi. And to the Buddhists, he's the Maitreya. And I think he'll say to the Hindus, he's Krishna. And to the Jews, he's Messiah. But I think he'll clearly be a religious figure. But he'll put an extraterrestrial spin on everything we've always thought as religion.
Got about 2 minutes before I have to take my break, Harry. What is your personal opinion on what is happening in New York City with the Cordova project that is a couple of blocks away from where the Twin Towers once stood?
Well, my opinion on that is Cordova means conquest. It's really a conquest mosque because all throughout history, when Muslims, contrary to what we're told, Muslims launched great wars, in the Middle Ages. And every time they conquered a nation, they always destroyed their religious buildings and built mosques. And when they invaded and conquered Spain, they went into the town of Cordova. And Cordova had a Roman Catholic, I think it was a cathedral or a big church, and they burnt that to the ground. They destroyed it, and they built the Cordova Mosque. And when they invaded and took over Jerusalem, they built the Dome of the Rock Mosque, which is there today on the Temple Mount. So I believe that this Dome of the Rock, this Cordoba Mosque project is a symbol to the Muslim world and the world of their conquest of America. The 19 Muslim terrorists, they don't look at them as terrorists because that Iman Rauf, he believes Hamas aren't terrorists. So in his mind, 19 Muslim freedom fighters conquer New York City. To me, it's a symbol of Islamic conquest of this nation, the United States, and that's why they're so adamant in having it there.
All right, Harry, stand by. You and I have to take our break with the news at the bottom of the hour. Exonation, Pastor Harry Walther is our special guest, www.satansrapture.com. We'll be back after this news break. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the four corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, and, of course, X-Zone TV. Pastor Harry's our special guest, www.satansrapture.com. Harry, what do you know about the Maitreya?
Well, as I revealed in, June 6, 2006 on this very program, like I said, the Antichrist will come as the savior of all religions, faiths, and creeds, and he'll be called by like 20 different names and titles. And according to the occult religion, which is the religion of the United Nations, and the writings of Alice Bailey, he and Benjamin Cream, that guy that promotes his coming, that's the personal name that he will use because, he's called by 20 names. And I revealed this on June 6, 2006, like I said, right on your program, and in that book it came out on the same day, that if you take the warning in the book of Revelation, the name Maitreya in ancient Hebrew calculates to 666. It says in Revelation, here is wisdom, let he who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for his number is that of a man, and his number calculates to 666. And in the ancient Hebrew alphabet, that name calculates to 666, and it's the only known name of any religious figure to come or ever came or is known of that calculates to 666. So, I do believe that the Antichrist will come as an extraterrestrial savior. I would like to believe, that it's a nice thought to believe that, aliens would come here and they're good and they're going to teach us to live in peace and do all these great things. But from everything I've read and seen from the UN, from the teachings of Benjamin Creme and Alice Bailey, this guy is the Antichrist, and he will come here in a spaceship. I've been wanting to debate Benjamin Creme for since June 6, 2006, but he won't ever debate me. He speaks against me. He wrote all the bad things about us, about our site and myself, but he will never debate me.
Well, you missed him by about 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
He's always one step ahead of me, I guess. But he won't debate me because he doesn't want to face the truth.
Wait a sec, Harry. Didn't Prophet Yahweh say he wouldn't debate you when we got it to happen?
Well, that's true. You're right about that.
Maybe we can arrange it with Benjamin Creme.
Well, I would really like that, and I mean, I don't want a confrontation with him. I just want to ask him some really hard questions about his movement and his beliefs and why they changed their website so much. But if you go to Benjamin Creme's site, Share International, they have a very small section on Lucifer. It used to be bigger. And they do believe that Lucifer is the god or oversoul of the human race.
Really?
And that's what they really believe. But they used to have, in 1998 and 99, they had a much bigger chapter all about the extolling the goodness and greatness of Lucifer as the guide of mankind. But what's also troubling is the United Nations in 1982 went public. Did they believe in a world religion? And the world religion is Luciferism. And they've accepted the teachings of Alice Bailey and her publishing company, she's dead now, but of Lucis Trust, as part of the United Nations inner core. And in 1982 was like the most prophetic year, in my opinion, in all the modern world, because, in 1982, 4 things happened. Elijah Rips, an Israeli mathematician, discovered the Bible code. That's the year Benjamin Creme first made his world declaration, the Maitreya, the world Christ is in the world and is going to save announce himself. And that's the year of the United Nations went public with their religion. And every year of the United Nations since 1982 publishes their world prayer. And it's called the Great Invocation. But it's right out of Alice Bailey's gospel book. She's like the premier channeler of Satan in a modern world. And it's really the great invocation of Lucifer that one day she says the world will use to invoke the devil. And that's the religion of the United Nations. So the religion of the United Nations is Luciferism. They were awaiting the coming of a world savior, and now they have a UN greeter. So it doesn't take too much thinking to put it all together. And also in 1982 is when I got that revelation to write my book, The Answer to Raptures, that helps us, to really breaks the code in understanding the book of Revelation. So to me, 1982 was like the prophetic year when the seals were broken, because, it was an ancient prophecy in the book of Daniel where God spoke to Daniel and he said, seal up prophecy and shut the books until the time of the end when knowledge and travel greatly increase. And I believe the year when those seals were broken was 1982, because since then everything started happening. And now I just believe we're in the countdown now to the coming of these ancient extraterrestrials with this with the Mayan calendar.
With what's happening in religion around the world, let's just take the Vatican. The pedophilia scandal, the banking scandal, and I'm sure there have been scandals throughout history. They've been able to do a lot because of the power of the church. How do you think if Christ was to return tomorrow and he walked down to St. Peter's Square, what do you think he'd say?
I think the first thing he would say is to take all the gold in the Vatican vault and sell it and give it to feed all the people of the world.
Here, I agree.
That's the first thing I'd say he would do, and I think he would say to the Pope, take that hat off your head and stop playing that you're the vicar of Christ on earth, because the Bible says Jesus is the head of a church. And I think he would tell all the religions how corrupt they are and how they've corrupted religion for money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the Catholic Church; it's the Protestant Church is just as corrupt. Look at that guy Eddie Long, that Baptist pastor in Georgia. I mean, look at that ridiculous thing. It's just ridiculous.
I watched the press conference, not the press conference, but I watched him on CNN as he gave his speech to his practitioner, his followers, and not once did he say he was innocent.
That's true. He never said he didn't do it.
That's right.
Because why would he give gifts and jewelry and presents to 4 boys ages 17 and 18? Yeah. And then in Georgia, the age of consent 16. So it's very convenient. He waited till they were all over the age of consent.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, all that just does, Rob, it just turns people off to anything Christian when we see these, these terrible scandals and the sex scandals and how the Catholic Church, protected and defended pedophile priests and kept moving them around. They're supposed to protect children from the wolves, not feed them to the wolves. And I just think people are very sick of organized religion now, and they're totally sick of it.
So is this why people are looking at New Age and the paranormal, because they're looking for something to replace the organizational religion that they have fallen out of grace with, or they've just given up on?
Exactly. See, people don't even think that there may be a real Jesus and a real Christianity,
mm-hmm.
Buried behind the circus and the corruption. So they turn to, New Age theologies and Eastern mysticism and Wicca and, witchcraft and forms of Satanism. It's like anything Christian, because the Christianity seems so poisoned and perverted. It's disgusting. I don't even like being associated with it anymore, but I just try to tell people maybe there's a real Jesus and a real Christianity buried under all this wickedness. It's really got nasty. There's a lot. But then even the New Age things get all corrupted, and they produce cults. And all these, and it's like people just always want power, and they always want to amass people to follow them. You notice that?
Yeah, I do, Harry. Tell me, Harry, what does the Bible code say about the days that we're in right now?
Well, according to the Bible code, starting in 2006, this is the end of days. And I believe the end of days in the Bible code seems to go from 2006 to 2012. And the Bible code also warns about 2012 and comet impact. But we are in the end of days according to the Bible code. And if you just look around at the world, with Iran building nuclear weapons and
mm-hmm.
Israel saying they have to 2011 to stop Iran, or it's too late. There is going to be a great war. It's going to explode in the Mideast, and I believe that's going to be the trigger for the apocalypse. And that's about the time that these extraterrestrials will come here. It almost seems like it's being perfectly timed. In a way.
So when we look at 2012, Harry, do you see the end of the world? Is that when the war on Armageddon is going to actually take place?
No, I don't believe 2012 is the end of the world at all. But I think by December 21st, 2012, it'll be the end of the world as we know
mm-hmm.
the world. There'll be a new world system put in place by these extraterrestrials. So I think we're going to see, the end of this system, and then a new system. Everything one. A one world religion, a one world government, a one world monetary system.
But in all reality, Harry, would that be so bad?
It would be bad if it's led by the devil, and they would kill 300 million people, as the Bible says.
I agree that one death would be too many.
Right. If it was if the Bible was wrong, if it's a benign religion, if it's acceptance of all people,
mm-hmm.
if it's people don't want to accept the religion, that's okay. In time they would. If it was a benign, peaceful form of Buddhism,
mm-hmm.
something like that, it would be good. But from what I've seen with, Alice Bailey and the United Nations, these people are Satan worshipers. And in fact, Alice Bailey's, that's who the United Nations looks at as their prophet. Her writings are the inner core of the entire, Maitreya movement, and that's on, Benjamin Krim. Now he extols the teachings of Alice Bailey as like, that's the source of all his beliefs.
But doesn't he have the right? Doesn't he have the right to believe in what he wants to believe, just as you have and just as I have?
Yes, he has every right to believe whatever he wants, but he doesn't have the right to deceive us. It's like he put on his site, he wrote against Nazism,
Mm-hmm.
but then Alice Bailey's view of Hitler was a failed attempt to establish the new age of mankind. You see, it's the deception of Benjamin Creme I'm against, not what he can believe whatever he wants, but he should just, he should come out and be honest about his beliefs, but he's not, because Alice Bailey was a Satanist and a Nazi, and she said that Hitler was a failed attempt, and they believe they will succeed again through religion, through this great, through the great Maitreya who's coming, the son of Satan. That's who they believe he is. So I mean that's why I have very bad feelings and thoughts about what's coming, because it's nothing good. If the UN accepted a peaceful, benign religion like a peaceful Buddhism, and they awaited this peaceful Buddha to bring, that's one thing, but it's not what they believe.
So Harry, what can we do to turn things around? Is it too late?
Yeah, I do believe. I don't believe we can change what's coming.
So how do we prepare then?
Well, I believe. Well, Jesus taught we can escape what's coming. He taught that we can escape what's coming in a first of two rapture events, because the Bible really tells us really what's going to happen. That a war is going to explode in the Mideast, and it's going to trigger, very quickly global economic collapse and chaos and things. And it's in that time frame that 1 million people will vanish from the face of the earth. And that's supposed to be the true followers of Jesus. And then will come this UFO light show and the landing of this craft. See, it's almost like a screenplay unfolding. So, those that the Bible teaches that those that truly follow Jesus, which may be 1 million people or less, they will escape, and then this being will come, this extraterrestrial savior. But, people have free will. And it's possible that when he comes and people see what he really is and what he wants, maybe the human race will say, you know what, we don't want you. Maybe it could happen. Maybe the human race will say, we don't want this. We don't want another Hitler. We don't want you. Take a walk. We don't want you. And that could happen. We have free will. It's just the Bible seems to say the majority of the world would follow this person, but, it'd be a nice thought that they would reject him.
All right, Harry, stand by. You and I have to take our final break. Exo Nation, Pastor Harry Walther is our guest this hour. www.satansrapture.com. That's www.satansrapture.com. My name's Rob McConnell. This is The X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
19 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I have learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world.
Pastor Harry's our special guest explanation. www.satansrapture.com. That's www.satansrapture.com. Harry, what do you think the signs are going to be that listeners can watch out for, showing that the end times are here?
Well, I think one is the ancient comet planet Nibiru or Planet X may be sighted soon. I think that's one sign we can look for. I think that will be sighted soon. It is this massive comet planet that's supposed to pass Earth every, nobody really knows, 3,600 years or 10,500 years. I think that may be the next sign. And then, of course, when people turn into televisions one day and they see that Israel's attacked Iran, then you will know that it's clearly then we're in the end of days. It's the apocalypse is right around the corner. When that event happens, and it seems like nothing's going to stop that. The nations are not coming together to stop Iran, and that's the great failure of the Western world, that they have failed, to stop Iran. Obama keeps reaching out with his olive branch and a handshake, and they just laugh in his face. So I think that's the 2 things. Maybe the sighting of the comet planet, and when Israel hits Iran, it's all over, and that doomsday clock is ticking. The one good thing is Russia has backed off on deploying that Star Wars missile defense system to Iran, which would have triggered it now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's one good thing, but, I mean, it's just that's going to trigger everything. And if you look at the Mideast now, the peace process is collapsing. Israel wants to build on the land. The Muslims are screaming about them. They're threatening war, as always. But, I mean, it's things are really starting to heat up. This may be the last Christmas as we know this world coming up, because I don't know how long Israel's going to wait. But I do believe we are going to have a close encounter soon with extraterrestrials. They're going to come here, and they will say they've been here before. And if you believe a lot of those sites, they claim to be those that even created us. So that's what's that's. I don't know if you ever read Zachariah Sitchin.
I sure have,
show.
Yeah. I sure have.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what he believes.
Yeah.
He's a lot of truth to what he says, but it may not be the whole picture. But I just believe the main sign is maybe we'll see the comet planet sighted. They'll say, announce it's coming. There'll be more UFO, revelations. And I do believe when Israel hits Iran, that will trigger everything.
Harry, you and I have to say so long for tonight. Always great talking to you. Take care of yourself, my friend. I look forward to the next time you and I meet here in the X Zone.
Thank you, Rob. God bless.
Take care, Pastor. Exonation Pastor Harry Walther. www.satansrapture.com. That's www.satansrapture.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break. We're going to be talking about ghosts with Jeff Dwyer here in the X Zone. My name is Rob McConnell. Whatever you do, don't go away. Speak to you after the news.